The heavy door rumbled as it slowly opened, revealing a blinding radiance within. At that moment, a message flickered before Ryu's eyes. Condition: open the treasure vault door with the 5 elders. You have completed the subquest. You may select 3 treasures as your reward. The elders stepped aside, bowing slightly, saying, "Please come inside." Ryu walked past them. A soft gasp escaped his lips as he entered the vault. The chamber glittered like a dream. Countless treasures filled the room, jewels piled like mountains, golden armor gleaming in torchlight, and magic weapons radiating with ethereal energy. Ancient spellbooks and artifacts floated gently in the air, humming with power. Ryu thought, his eyes scanning the treasures with calm precision. Jewels, magic swords, magical armor, spellbooks, artifacts, an assortment of everything. One of the elders stepped forward nervously and said, "These are the treasures we've gathered over the past 500 years in Elsorium. Feel free to take whatever pleases you." Ryu raised a brow. "Does that mean I can take as many as I want?" The elder stammered. Well, yes. But given the historical value of these items, wouldn't 3 be sufficient?" The elders collectively held their breath, waiting for his reaction. When Ryu didn't argue, they sighed in visible relief. He thought, "I don't need more than 3. They'll suffice." Even if he wanted more, he knew the system wouldn't allow it. He said at last. "I'll settle for 3, one elder exclaimed, wiping sweat from his brow. "Thank you." Ryu moved among the treasures like a man on a mission. His movements were deliberate, his eyes sharp. It was as if he already knew exactly what he wanted. Moments later, his system window flickered again. "You have chosen the rune of one versus many. You have chosen the rune of resistance. You have chosen the rune of endurance. You have selected all your rewards." The elders watched curiously. One said, "You've chosen the magic stones," another added, beaming in relief. "Oh ho, an excellent choice." They truly had no idea what he'd just taken. For a player like Ryu, rune fragments were priceless, far beyond jewels or gold. He held the glowing runes in his hands, feeling the energy pulse through his veins as he engraved them onto his body. The runes shimmered faintly, merging with his skin. Rune of one versus many. Effect: your stats increase in proportion to the number of enemies within a 100-meter radius. The effect applies to up to 100 enemies with a maximum stat boost of 100%. Rune of resistance effect: increases resistance to status effects by 50%. Rune of endurance effect: increases resistance to elemental damage by 50%. Ryu's lips curved upward. He could feel the strength coursing through him, steady, immense, intoxicating. He said to himself, "With these I've become even stronger. Strength is like money. The more you have, the better." Satisfied, he turned toward the elders and said, "I've seen all I need." "Time to head out," they replied, bowing deeply. "Yes, sir." Ryu ascended from the underground vault, each step echoing through the marble halls. As he reached the surface, he activated his tracking skill, focusing on a name that appeared in his mind. Match found for name and face. Tracking target's location. Target Russell Daniel, located 4,395 meters away. Follow the arrow in front of you to track the target. A small smirk played at his lips, saying, "Let's head to the dwarf village with Russell next. I'll need god-tier material soon, and this'll help him grow stronger too." He turned to the princess, who watched him with a look of disappointment, and he said, "I must be off. I have other matters to attend to," she asked softly. "Already? You're leaving so soon?" he said, giving a faint bow. "Yes, thank you for the tea." The princess lowered her eyes, her lips trembling slightly. "I see." Without another word, Ryu turned and walked away. The moment he stepped outside the palace, he muttered one word: "Ascend." A surge of dark energy erupted from his back as enormous black wings unfolded, stretching over 10 meters wide. The gust of wind sent leaves swirling, and the elders and princess gasped in awe. He said, glancing back over his shoulder, "I'll see you again next time. Stay healthy, princess," she stammered, blushing again. "You too, Black Scythe." But by the time her words left her lips, he was already high above the sky. A dark silhouette soaring through the clouds, the shadow of a reaper gliding across the bright elven city below. While others were still hesitating over their regional choices, one man made his decision without a second thought. Russell immediately selected the Kingdom of Albitz. His hand didn't even tremble as he clicked the name on the screen. he reminded himself, clenching his fist. Mr. Ryu told me there's no need to hesitate. Just wait for the Black Scythe in the kingdom of Albits. That's all I need to do. He trusted those words completely. Though he knew the strategy for the 13th round, the prophet had told him something different from everyone else. No quests, no fighting, no wandering around, just patience. As a blacksmith, his natural connection with dwarves would make things easier for him than for others. Russell said with awe, "The prophet told the Black Scythe exactly what to do. His help is absolutely necessary for me." So he waited and waited. The sun slowly shifted across the sky, and nearly an hour had passed. Russell began to fidget nervously. Sweat trickled down his neck. He thought, biting his lip, could it be that he's not coming? Just as anxiety was about to consume him, a shadow passed overhead. Something black was soaring through the sky, cutting through the clouds like a blade. Russell gasped, shielding his eyes. What the? The figure descended swiftly, wings spreading like those of a fallen angel. Dust rose around him as he landed gracefully without a sound. It was him, the Black Scythe. The aura surrounding him was suffocating, dark, cold, and commanding. Russell's knees almost buckled as he spoke. The man asked, his voice deep and calm, "Are you Russell Daniel?" He replied, "Yes, that's me." "Are you the Black Scythe?" Even though names didn't appear in this world, Russell somehow knew. There was no mistaking the presence of the legendary figure before him. Ryu answered simply, "Yes, I am the Black Scythe." Russell's eyes widened in admiration, saying, "It's an honor to meet you, sir." Ryu replied, his tone steady, "There's no need for such honors. I've heard about you from the prophet. He told me to take special care of you since you two are close," Russell asked, almost trembling. "The prophet said that?" When the Black Scythe nodded, a wave of emotion washed over him. Russell thought, eyes glistening, to think Mr. Ryu would regard me so highly. He really is like a saint. Determined to make a good impression, he straightened his posture. Then he remembered something the prophet had told him. "He said to prove my worth when I meet the Black Scythe, didn't he?" Russell swallowed hard and spoke up, his voice hesitant but full of determination, saying, "I've heard that you can help me grow, sir." Ryu replied, studying him. "That's what I've been told," Russell continued, bowing slightly. "I know it's presumptuous, but could you help me? I want to grow faster." Ryu Min crossed his arms, considering, saying, Russell quickly added, "In exchange, I'll cast a buff that will help you hunt. Just a moment. Could I see your weapon?" Ryu frowned slightly and inquired, "You want me to hand over my weapon?" Russell said quickly, waving his hands. "Oh, no, you don't have to give it to me. Just let me touch it." After a brief pause, Ryu held out his enormous black scythe. Its blade gleamed faintly, pulsing with dark energy. Russell gently placed his hand on it, closed his eyes, and began to chant softly. A faint golden glow spread from his fingertips. Then, a message flashed before Ryu's eyes. The effect of the skill, Weapon Polishing, increases weapon attack power by 150%. The buff will last until the end of this round. Ryu's eyes widened slightly and said, "My attack power increased by that much?" He had heard about blacksmith buffs before, but this was the first time he'd experienced one. Russell asked proudly, "Your weapon's attack power increased, didn't it?" Ryu Min admitted. "Yes, I'm surprised by how much it increased," Russell said with a grin. "Haha, you're not done being surprised yet. Could I touch your armor this time?" When Ryu nodded, Russell placed his hand on the armor. A second glow shimmered, followed by another system message. The effect of the skill, Equipment Polishing, increases armor options by 10%. The buff will last until the end of this round. Ryu Min thought, "What? The options increased?" Instantly checking his armor's status window, 2,200 plus 1.1 to all stats per level, 73.7% chance to evade when hit. The numbers had all risen by exactly 10%. Russell asked eagerly, "Your stats improved, right? I can buff all your equipment like this." "Oh, except for accessories," Ryu inquired. "Really?" Russell said confidently. "I'll do it right now. Let's start." One by one, he touched Ryu's helmet, gloves, and boots, chanting softly each time. Each piece glowed faintly as its stats increased by 10%. While the improvement might not have seemed massive on its own, the cumulative effect was astonishing. Ryu crossed his arms, impressed, saying, "For equipment like my black armor, which has probability-based effects, I could potentially push the evasion rate close to 100%. He hadn't realized blacksmiths possessed such powerful support skills. As he marveled, Russell's chest swelled with pride. Russell said, smiling. Surprising, right? Even I didn't realize how efficient the equipment polishing skill was when I learned it at level 60. Ryu Min mused. Repair, weapon polishing, equipment polishing. What other skills do you have? Russell explained. There's one called material crafting, but it's not a buff skill, so it's not that useful. It just lets me gather junk items to create higher-level materials. Ryu nodded slightly, saying materials could be bought, so that skill wasn't something he needed. But for Russell, it could prove handy. He thought, still, weapon polishing and equipment polishing alone make him invaluable. Russell asked eagerly. Did it help? Ryu replied with a rare smile. Very much. Hearing that, Russell felt a surge of pride. He had done it. He had proven his worth to the Black Scythe. Ryu said suddenly, turning. Let's go. I'll help you grow even more. Thanks to our friend who supported the channel financially in the previous video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support the channel financially.